So I think there were a couple of reasons for the fact that staff felt it was difficult or perhaps not even worth reporting incidents. One of which was the rather convoluted form that we originally had, really quite difficult and unintuitive to use.
You would put an incident form in and then you would never really see any resolution to that. You wouldn't get any feedback, particularly apart from the fact that you'd reported it.
So there's been maybe a despondency associated with it, and I think, oh well, why should I bother, because nobody bothers about answering the concerns that I've raised.
When we started this RPIW, it took 61.5, so 61.5 hours to get from the incident being reported and submitted on our incident management system through to it being ready for investigation.
The reporting form is much more straightforward now. They've cut some sections out that weren't very relevant before, and it's just much quicker to fill out, so much easier, it doesn't take up much time.
It's a lot more straightforward. There's not so much jargon where you have to write a lot and it gets quite wordy.
The main change with it is that the person that's reporting the incident gets to comment on the level of harm to the patient.
The improvements, particularly to the clinical incident reporting process that we've seen, are a reduction in the amount of time it takes to fill in the form, an improvement in the value of the information in that form, a drastic reduction in the amount of time it takes to investigate each incident, and those were the tangible benefits that we were really aiming for.
Reporting an incident is one thing. Learning from an incident is the biggest issue here. And what the daily huddle does is get everybody on in the area, the MDT, the multidisciplinary team, together at 9 o'clock every morning. We go in a seminar room and all incidents that were reported in the previous 24 hours are discussed.
If there's anything major, it gets talked about that day and measures are put in place.
And then on a Friday morning there is a bigger safety huddle where all of the incidents from the week are discussed at length.
It's not like one discipline dictating to others, it's about everybody talking about what they think is best for the patient.
There's a notice board that's in the unit, so all the incidents are clearly documented with the outcomes clearly documented, so there's very regular and timely feedback. So everybody can read what's going on. So even if the incident wasn't in your area or necessarily appropriate to you, you can be made aware of it. So I think the whole culture has changed within the unit.
One of the measurable outcomes of how effective the safety huddle is that we had no avoidable pressure ulcers in general critical care for the month of May.
The way of getting all staff involved really is letting them lead from the bottom. The junior staff talk about it amongst themselves, they see things happening, and that then inspires the other ones to get involved because they can see that things will change and their views are absolutely taken into account.
I think taking that responsibility has actually increased their interest in reporting incident, and they see that when they report an incident, they know the outcome of the incident, they see the learning from the incident, and we don't give them the answers. We all participate in developing a common solution that can actually answer the questions that they've identified.
We instigated this about a year ago, and since then not only have we rolled out in critical care but 4 or 5 more areas. We're convinced that this works now, which is why we're going trust-wide. And it's going to be a huge task, but it's going to be the right thing to do. This is the right thing to do for patients.